This video is intended for adult educational purposes only. I do not condone any illegal activities, and this was filmed for your entertainment. Welcome to week 0 of Growing Graham's cannabis cultivation journey, and it is week 0 because this video will be the prerequisites that you should know before getting into cannabis cultivation. Do you want to learn how to grow your own cannabis this year, or have you marveled how some growers achieve huge harvests every few months? Stick around, this series is tailored just for you. We're kicking off a brand new series that delves into every stage of the cannabis life cycle from seed all the way to sesh. Join me as I unveil the secrets and techniques to achieving over 1,000 grams every 3 months. In this series, we will be covering the essential prerequisites before diving into cannabis cultivation, the significance of setting realistic goals and managing your expectations, where to find top-notch equipment and genetics to get your journey kickstarted, and as an added bonus, I will share my personal tips and tricks for getting started and reveal some of the trusted resources that I have used for years to obtain some of the most affordable equipment and top-of-the-line genetics. Stick around. So, what does it really take to embark on a successful cannabis growing journey? Let's break it down into 5 key areas. First, being legal considerations, knowing your state regulations along with the community guidelines of your neighborhood or your neighbors. Second, you're going to get into the plant life cycle and understanding basic biology along with terminology, and we'll get more into that later down this video. Third is going to be setting goals and a budget, realistically assessing your objectives along with your aspirations, and being able to align your financial resources is crucial to being able to have a successful harvest. The fourth will be time investment, dedicated sufficient time towards nurturing your plants and understanding the schedule that's going behind that. The consistent care directly influences the outcome of your harvest, so knowing the commitment is going to be very important, which leads us to the last point. 5, have a plan, and I cannot express how crucial this is. Having a solid plan, developing a comprehensive plan tailored for your goals is paramount. It distinguishes between growing as a hobby and cultivating a sustainable, self-sufficient supply to stay happy. Now, let's dive into the plant's life cycle. From germination to harvest, each phase plays a crucial role. The first being the germination phase. This is where seedlings establish their taproot. They will grow their first small stalk and their caudal leaves. They do need a lot of nurture and love. They are going to be very sensitive. If they make it out of seedling phase, we get into the vegetative phase. This is where we've started to create our first node spacing, our branching, our top sets of leaves that come in that have the full points to them, and it looks like a small cannabis plant. Third is going to be getting into the flowering cycle, and this is where the plant starts producing the fruit of our labor. It will start fruiting out and become sticky, smelly, resiny, and get ready to harvest. After the plant is done flowering will be the harvest and curing phase. This is where we chop the plant and we make sure that we preserve it properly by hanging it up and then putting it into buckets to allow the moisture to distribute evenly. All in all, the process does take 4 to 5 months from seed to get to sesh, and it is going to be so worth it. So we have a pretty basic understanding of the plant's life cycle and the time commitment before you're ready to smoke. Now, let's get into the purpose behind your personal objective and your mission when it comes to cultivation, whether or not you're looking to replace commercial purchases or simply grow a plant out of a hobby. It's crucial to know what your goals are in order to be successful. Personally, I smoke a metric fuck ton, so I wanted to replace the need to ever have to purchase cannabis again in my life. The system that I've come up with entails cutting clones from a mother plant where I propagate those for 2 weeks. Then I go into the vegetative stage for 4 weeks, subsequently followed by flowering for another 8 weeks. And then we get into the curing and drying process for another 2 weeks. And by strategically timing when I cut my clones from my previous flower, I have a room perpetually flowering, which means that it is permanently flowering in that room. So every 2 months I am harvesting. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. And although the initial setup costs are incurred, the long-term benefits far outweigh the investment. With approximately 15 to 30 minutes of daily maintenance, achieving substantial yields becomes feasible within a few months. Now let's address the question on everybody's mind. What are the costs? There are two ways that I'm going to be breaking down the entry to get into cannabis cultivation. One is with my personal system and setup that you are going to be able to duplicate my results with. The other is going to be a more entry-level, budget-friendly starter. But assuming you opt for my basic setup, I am going to be giving you a full breakdown of the essential equipment required, and I will leave a link to the document where I have put together all of the new 2024 research and equipment that I would purchase restarting my grow from scratch. And in that document, I'll be listing things based on priorities, whether it is essential, helpful, or a luxury item. There are a few things that I use that are just simply a luxury. They make my life much nicer, but there are things that are fundamentally required, such as a light that is going to be a cost that you cannot grow without. And when I refer to some luxury items, I'm talking about CO2. CO2 isn't something that you have to supplement inside of a grow room for plants to grow. They do fine outside without having a CO2 tank. It is a luxury item, things like that. If you've taken a moment to peep the document, you will see that my initial startup cost is just under $3,000. And if you wanted to opt in for a very basic entry-level setup, you can do that for just a few $100. Now, it's time for the exciting part. With the groundwork laid out and a basic understanding of what we'll be getting ourselves into, it's time to pick our genetics. Starting off with the right genetics is crucial for your success, and I have a video on pheno hunting and why phenotypes matter in another video, so I don't think I have that linked yet, but I will one day. We're getting there. I will note that out of any industry I have ever been a part of, this one is by far full of more scammers, and you will find fakes, frauds, from websites that are set up to vendors that are reaching out to you under similar vendor names. It is a malicious community, and I'm not sure when or how it got that way when it came to shopping for genetics, but please be extremely wary. Fuck. All right, let me try this again. One sec. Okay. Awesome. So, in my experience, when it comes to shopping for genetics, Neptune Seed Bank has been one of the best places for premium genetics, along with breeders of all different flavors to submit their works of art. And if I want to go with something more commercial or a lot more readily available bank, then I use Seedsman Seeds. They have been phenomenal as far as a US seed distribution website. I use them again for more of my commercial seeds, and then I go to Neptune Seed Bank for my high-end premium seeds. I really do love having the option of both, and I do like growing both. One is not better than the other. It is just a matter of preference. And if you are shopping for your own personal favorite flavors, your own seeds that you would enjoy growing, or genetics you're highly interested in, my one recommendation is finding something with a short flower time between 8 and 9 weeks, and something that is going to be genetically stable along with having strong resistances. If you're getting something that is a high-end premium bougie strain right off the bat and you have no experience, you may have a bad time. They're not always the highest yielding strains, they're not always the fastest growing, and they're not always the strongest. Getting yourself a nice general commercial strain while you get started is something I personally recommend. Not necessary, but it can give you a right foot out the door. Now that everything is said and done, here's the kicker. You don't need to devise a plan. I am here to give you the full standard operating procedure, day in, day out, my system, uninhibited, all of the advice that you could possibly want from a personal grow mentor. There is no need to devise a plan from scratch. I am here to provide you with the tried and tested formula, offering step-by-step guidance and invaluable insight to ensure your success. Plus, as a bonus, I'll share my go-to source for affordable grow equipment. I've been using this website for years, and they have been one of the best suppliers that I have dealt with on a customer service level. For the cheapest and best grow pots that you can possibly buy, check out 247garden.com. Again, 24/7 Garden has provided me with thousands of pots at this point in my life. I get them all at an extremely affordable price, and in this community, people like to tax just for putting cannabis in front of it when it's the exact same thing that you would find for a shrub. So please. By the end of this series, you'll be ready to kick off your cannabis cultivation journey with confidence. And I do say by the end of this series because it may take me more than each week to get the video update out, but by the end of this series, you will have my full system week by week, day by day, every input that will go into being successful. Man, I'm just not great at this whole YouTube thing yet, but we're gonna get better. This is the first video series. I appreciate you guys for watching with me till the end. If you liked this, I put a lot of work into it. If you enjoyed the document, then fucking, yeah, click on it. Yeah. Make sure to check out the documents down below. Join the Discord group if you'd like to chat one-on-one. If you want to see pictures of the grow, you can head over to Instagram. And every Saturday, we are doing a live grow show where we hang out with the community, answer questions, and show what progress we've made into becoming a professional in our own private space. Thanks. See you next week.